So Redshift is meant for online analytical processing systems where you want to store the data and then extract the information for further processing. There are many different benefits and use cases which we are going to understand. And if you talk about the best competitor for the OLAP Redshift here, Amazon provides Redshift for the massively parallel processing data warehousing system, and Microsoft Azure provides Synapse, and there are Snowflake, and even Google Cloud provides BigQuery. Those are all competitors for your Redshift analytical system. So if you want to have a, I mean, by the name itself you can understand from Google Cloud, right? They have named it as BigQuery. If there is a complex situation where there is a subject where you have to understand how to improve your business or get some business insight or get some analytics report. So already we discussed about what is OLTP and OLAP in the earlier session. So that's the reason I'm just going quickly here. This is mainly for the data analysts, scientists, and the business owner to understand how their business is performing. What is the trend? What is the pattern? Where exactly the business can focus and then shift their interest, and where exactly they can reduce the amount of manufacturing and all those things. So that's where Google Clouds, BigQuery, Amazon Redshift, Snowflake, Microsoft Azure, Synapse, so all those analytics tool comes into play. So data warehousing is where the data gets processed and it gets queried for the business insight or to get the business intelligence out of it. So the query that we are going to run is going to run for a very long duration because of the nature of the query, right? It is an analytics and reporting system, unlike your transactional system where you are going and sending money or buying some book or booking a train ticket or booking a um, uh, something, right? Online purchase. All these things are transactional in nature. But when we are going and reporting on configuring who has purchased the particular model across the globe, then that is an analytics query, right? It will run for a period and you will get it. So online analytical processing systems is where you go and process the data. This is where the business data warehouse solutions comes into play, and from this data only the business will take decisions. So it is a decision making system, whereas for the business application will be directly connected to your online transaction processing applications like your RDS and so on, where you will have the business application storing all the operational related content and retrieving it directly from here. But whatever the backend, the OLAP, it's mainly focuses on the decision making, business intelligence reporting, and data mining and understanding the pattern, trend analysis. So that is what is happening on the OLAP related thing. Whereas OLTP is more the banking, financial, and the front end commercial online sites like Flipkart, hotel booking, banking transaction. All these things are done at the OLTP. So OLAP is what we are going to discuss now. This is where the data warehousing happens, and this is where the complete set of information gets stored for your future business enhancement and improvement. So data warehouse, it is a central repository where it will collect a lot of data coming from different data models, like it can be from Excel sheet or Access database or Microsoft database, or it can be Oracle or MySQL. So there will be a lot of integrated data coming from many sources, and all these will get stored here. And this OLAP system is mainly intended for providing your reports, insights, and analytics information. Generally the data is denormalized in nature. This is complete historical thing, right? Last 1 year, what has happened, how much sales has happened, last 3 years, where exactly which country we are performing better and which country we are not performing, and what kind of models are getting sold there and what models are getting stagnant. So those kind of auditing, reporting, historical data analysis and decision making can be done from the warehouse location. So this is where the data gets stored from n number of applications and different database engine. So generally the data will be read here. You are not going to write a lot of things here because the business analytics or the business query that you are running is going to go and read a lot of data. It is going to filter and bring you essential information. So it will be, the data will be in many different dimension. So that is where the data analyst or data scientist jobs are in very high demand, so they are very good in doing all those permutation combinations, and they have a very good mathematical skills to go and fetch those information. So data is getting into very different dimensions, right? And data is getting very complex, and data is everywhere now. So in order to get some insight or business outcome, then you need a good person or a person with good skills around who can work on the data and provide the business owner with the level of insight that they are looking for, right? And there has been a lot of evolution around this particular tool also. And of course, any tool that Amazon is getting successful, they are all mostly serverless in nature. But initially Redshift, they gave you option to go and create a cluster and then store the data inside that data warehouse and start using it. But recently, like, they have also given you Redshift serverless option also, so which means like you don't have to really provision anything, or no clustering has to be configured. Earlier they gave you that flexibility to create a cluster or create a standalone system, but now they understand the criticality of even this particular system, and they are giving you serverless with clustering as a service, and high availability, durability, cost, security, all these things are pretty much taken care without compromising on the latency, throughput, and the functionality. So it is as fast as the earlier clustered systems, and you can have a predictive level of performance out of these systems. It is very scalable in nature, and there is virtually unlimited capacity here as well. And you have options to use database migration service to migrate from your on-premises Oracle, or even from cloud, Azure Synapse, or BigQuery. You can also migrate the data from there. So Redshift is Amazon's native cloud native um, data warehouse as a service. So this is fully managed solution. It is very simple and cost effective, and this can be used by any standard SQL statements, or using any business intelligence tools. If you want to use some visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau or QuickSight from Amazon native, it has default integration. It has got all the JDBC and ODBC connectors that you need. I will show you that example. And this is all power data driven decisions with the best of class performance and data warehousing, that to cloud native data warehousing solution. And it allows you to run as many number of complex analytical queries against petabytes of data, and you get it in a sophisticated query optimization manner also. So Redshift has been evolving over the period. There has been a lot of optimization that has been done directly by Amazon, and this is a columnar storage, right? This is not a key value kind of thing. This is a columnar storage, and it is a massively parallel query execution capable system. So if you want to run hundreds of analytical queries in parallel, that's why they call it as MPP system, right? Multiple parallel processing can be done, and that too, the content can be petabytes in size, and the result that you get can come in seconds also. If there is some caching, or if there is some information that is already there, you can start as small as 25 cents per hour with no commitments. So it is pay as you go model, and you can also go up to petabytes or terabytes of data per year, and you are going to pay for the actual consumption and the thing. So the more you consume, the price is less, and they're also providing you a lot of new functionalities. So earlier, Amazon Redshift did not have a lot of querying option, but recently I think they have added something called Spectrum. Using that, you can use the same querying language in this DynamoDB table, right? This particle can be used even if you are familiar with SQL queries. You can also run SQL queries against this particular thing, and there is no loading or transformation that is needed. Okay, it is a open data format. It can have data like CSV format, or Apache Avro format, or ION format, or JSON, or ORC, or even Parquet. There are many different formats these days. Data are getting stored, and data are being made available to the data warehousing system. So the data warehousing system should have to allow all these open data formats, mostly like the ORC, the Parquet, and JSON. These are the formats that many customers are providing the data. Even I could see Avro, AVRO, right? That Avro formats are also there. So all these data formats are supported here. It can automatically scale based on the amount of query that we are making, and the amount of data that we are trying to access. So Amazon Redshift is a cloud-based data warehousing solution from AWS, and that helps you to store, transform, and query vast amount of data volumes and data. And as I told you, it is massively parallel processing system. It is called as MPP cluster. Okay, so massively parallel processing, which clearly indicates that every node can perform multiple parallel tasks in for your application. So which is what the system is intended for, and high speed processing across different data sets and different data formats. Redshift is mainly ideal for your business intelligence, and you can get the data from your operational databases like your DynamoDB or SQL, RDS, Aurora. You can also store the data in S3 and retrieve it. You can also use any marketplace data model and retrieve it. Like if you're having some Apache or some other clusters, like which are providing formats in Avro or different third-party formats like Parquet, you can also retrieve that data, and all the insight can be quickly uptime, because the Redshift is optimized to do that backend normalization, and it is very fast and easy to query. So you can use any machine learning tools or any AI or different ML machine learning tools, or else you can also use some business intelligence or analytics application to go and connect and show the visualization. So I'll show you where exactly the options are and what are the different options that we have. And when it comes to the benefits and use cases, there are a lot of benefits and use cases. So primarily the performance that the customers expect, right? So even though this is a business intelligence, or it's a kind of tool where too much of data format or too much of data is getting stored, this Redshift has a proven outcome of 6 times better performance than any other cloud data warehouse. Okay, so earlier I know like Google Cloud, BigQuery had a very good a lot of features, or they were pioneers in that. But of late, like Amazon picked up, and this tool is very much optimized and evolved like anything. And currently, it is fully managed, and they are also having Gen AI integration these days. So it is completely integrated with AI powered. And the important thing is this is like massively parallel processing systems. So this is a term that you can also see in exams also. That's the reason I'm just capturing specific things. So for any massively parallel processing workload requirements, you can also use this Redshift. And this is a data warehouse system built for scale, performance, security, and availability. So all the aspects, all the important aspects are taken care of. And you can also unify all your data with zero ETL. So when I say zero ETL, generally we have to go and write some extraction. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load, right? So you have to go and extract the data from different data sources. So when I want to extract it, you need to write a lot of Python scripts or queries or code and all these things. So here, no code, I would say low code in fact. So they are saying zero code, but I'm saying like it's a low code zero ETL approach. So for any integrated analytics, so if you want to access the data across different databases or data lake or any streaming data that are coming from outside, you don't have to write anything on your own. Everything is pre-created and pre-configured. You can extract and transform and load your data into data warehouse with zero efforts. So extracting means you are getting the data from different sources. It can be database or access DB or data lake or data mart. Different solutions are there, and you can transform it using the Redshift, and you can load it to any other external system if you want. If you want to just put it into S3, or if you want to stream it to different sources, or if you have to configure Kinesis, you can also configure it. So maximizing the value with comprehensive analytics and machine learning. So there is a lot of open source analytics system that are available in the marketplace. Even you get a lot of power dashboards and visualization using QuickSight. You can also very much integrate with Power BI and Tableau. You get near real-time analytics information. All the AI ML application with any kind of analytical engine support can connect to this. Languages can be anything. Okay, so there is a comprehensive range of support for different analytics, AI, and ML applications here. So innovate faster with security data collaboration. So when I say innovate faster with secure data collaboration, you have the option to go and share this Redshift output across different organization. So you have the option to go and share the data or collaborate the data across different organization, different AWS region. Even you can integrate it with third-party data set. There is no manual data movement that is needed. You can just share the visualization, or you can share the outcome or the report in a very fine grained and detailed way with secure permissions. Okay, even though it is very fast to share it, you have the option to collaborate and share the data. So through there is a reporting structure that is available, you can go and do it. So these are the top 5 or 4 common benefits. There are many other benefits that I can keep listing, but yeah, of course, we saw something for the DynamoDB table, right? So all those benefits are pretty much applicable here also. Okay, let me just give you some more pointers. Yeah, I think we have slides to cover that up. So when we talk about, okay, these are some of the benefits, and there are some use cases as well. Let me just Okay, so data warehouse is actually a cluster of nodes by default. That is where they call it as Redshift clusters. And this is a data warehousing tool. Okay, and this is cloud based, and you have a lot of integration with your data formats, and so pay as you go pricing model. This is cloud native. This is already covered here. Modern, scalable, secure, high performance. Yeah, those are also benefits. So these are some of the use cases which I will explain shortly. Yeah, I think a lot of integration options are there, and you have options to go and query, share the information that is already covered. Uh, Maximize, innovate faster. Yeah, there is some lot of flexibility that is important. Okay, more than the faster thing. So flexibility and the scalability is there. That is very, very important benefit. And also you get a lot of free concurrency and credits per day. And okay, so automated backups, provisioning options are also there. So those are also pretty much good amount of benefit that you need to utilize. And coming to use cases, let me explain the use cases now. So when you say use cases, this is mainly for the business to understand what is happening and improve their business, right? Mainly, see what is the kind of benefit that a business will try and get. They want to get more money, right? They want to get financial benefit. So in order to get more financial benefit, in order to improve their year on year or quarterly financial benefits, so they have to understand I mean, how the pattern is happening across the globe, what kind of loss and profit they are getting, profit and loss they are getting in different areas, different segment, different locations, and so on. So all these information are scattered across in different databases or different environment, and data warehouse is where we collect all those information into a central location, and that's where business understand the trend pattern, and then they will get all the business insight. The business owner or the C level people will understand what decisions they can make. This makes decision making very easier, and at the end they are going to improve their financial status, and they are going to get more demand, and they can be pretty much prepared for the forecast. So they know which region is performing better, where exactly the sales are going good, and where exactly the online bookings are happening better, and they can go and focus on that particular area, and then they can also do it. See, one side, this is going to do all these things. On the back end, see, these kind of systems will also have a lot of challenges. Okay, see, I know like many of the infrastructure team members are more closer to the operating systems and these things, but when it comes to data also, there is a lot of fraud data, or there is a lot of misleading information that can come into the data. So that is where the data analyst and data scientist have to be very smart to avoid any kind of fraudulent information or some kind of, see, many people will do a lot of gimmicks to tell that they are having these many number of sales to attract more people, and they, the same data they might provide it to the data warehousing system. See, and then the data warehousing system will think this particular region is doing good and all those things, because the marketing people might have done some gimmicks to provide those information. So we have to detect those fraudulent information, or maybe they have done it for some business benefit to get more bookings and all those things, but that data cannot come here, right? So ideally the data warehouse has to receive the data from the sold or whatever the final set of information, what exactly the business have completed, business sales have completed. So it's not the opportunity details, we should not show it. So some people will say like, I have 10,000 people who are waiting for this and all those things. So but not all the 10,000 is going to buy this, right? They might get better competitor product or better options to choose later a time when this particular product is available. So even though there is a lot of good options available, even with data also, the demand forecast can get into misleading information because of various reasons, as I told you, right? This is how the business works, and we have to be smart enough to see like whether that data which is coming from is really there. And data warehousing, the Redshift also provides the option to identify if there is any fraud detection, and all those things techniques are available within this tool. And this is going to optimize your business intelligence for sure, because you are getting very good dashboard or report or visualization input, especially Amazon QuickSight, which is the competitor for Power BI and Tableau. I mean, it's not that good as Power BI, but still QuickSight is evolving, and it is providing you a lot of metrics and intelligence for the business owners, stakeholders to get the insight driven report. See, for them, there is no time to go and look into the details of the report. For them, they need a dashboard, they need a insight driven report. That is what the business owners or the company owners will need, right, to make proper decision. And for which, like, Amazon Redshift is having an integration with the BI tools, especially the Amazon QuickSight is the better tool. And of course, you can use, if you have a license for Tableau or Power BI, pretty much you use it, and that will also give you a very good report, which is insight driven, and dashboard for your requirement. And if you want to you accelerate through AI or machine learning or different tool set, of course SQL is there. You can use SQL statements to build, train, and deploy different machine learning models, and this can help you with a lot of predictive analytics, and you can classify and do some regression, and all those advanced analytics could be performed in your using your SQL statement. And if you want to monetize your data, of course you need to connect from your application and build some application on top of these data, right? There are a lot of customers who are building solutions across sorry, applications which can connect to database, data warehouse, and data lake. So which can seamlessly and securely connect between different customer environment. There are a lot of areas where you need to have business to consumer applications or business to business application, where the application that they are developing can act as a revenue stream, right? So they can show all these the information to another business, or maybe the people who are interested in like the resellers or the people who are partners. For them, you can also show all these things in a different application, and that data can help them monetize and boost their business. And final use cases, like you can combine your data. Of course, that is the basic attribute or aspect. So nowadays, there is a lot of social media analytics information coming in. There is a lot of market data. There is a lot of weather data that comes from different sources. Okay. And in order for the system, the data warehouse, to go and digest it, there has to be a lot of efficient third party integration. And of course, Redshift has got a lot of integration with marketplace tools and third party data, and they can exchange information with a lot of different tool set. So let me go and show you quickly like what we can do here. There is a lot of features and functionality. There is a lot of concurrency option that could be configured. Of course, end-to-end encryption is feasible, and network level isolation can also be configured. And if you want your own favorite querying language, you have the option, especially the default one is SQL, right? That is Microsoft, the native one. And they are also, I mean, Amazon is also using PartyQL. And if you want to use some open format table querying languages like Apache Iceberg or Redshift Spectrum, which is again native to AWS, there are many different querying mechanisms and options to get the data. So let me quickly show you something here. No, I think there are a couple of more slides which I can quickly cover up, and then I can show you the demo. Yeah, so Redshift, it's a zero ETL approach tool. And generally, what the tool is going to do, it is going to get all the data from different sources like database, Access, Excel sheet, Apache content, or any marketplace, social data, or open source information, market statistics data. All these data will come to data warehouse, Redshift. And from here, we will do all the kind of data sharing, formatting, and self-tuning, optimization, and all those things. And then we provide it for business insight. The business insight is nothing but Amazon QuickSight or Power BI or Tableau. Those are the tools which give you better business intelligence. So on the top, like, we integrate with different machine learning, AI, and ML tools, and then we also use different high-end processing tool sets, and we also connected with some ETL tools like AWS Glue, Athena queries for extracting the information. So we are unifying the data across different data sources into something called Redshift, which is the data warehousing, which is best in class in performance, security, governance, and compliance. And also you can use the native SQL language statements if in case you want to access it. But there are many other options, like there's an option called Spectrum, which is native to Amazon Redshift, which you can use to retrieve the data. So here, yeah, so performance is best here. So they are meeting whatever customer need. They are very, very reliable. And as I told you, they are giving you massively parallel performance, and they are giving you options to go and choose the instance type, which can give you the best of compute, storage, and memory options. And you have that option. I will show you in the practical now. And they are also giving you native Redshift serverless option. Sorry, yeah, serverless option. That way you don't have to manage the backend environment. So they are giving you 99.99 of SLA by default. Amazon Redshift clusters are multi-AZ in nature, so you get up to 99.99 by default. And as I told you, you can unify your data from various different sources. Okay, so whatever source you are sending the data, it accepts almost all the format of data. Even it can get the data from object storage also. You can get it from S3, or you can get it from SQL databases or Oracle or different sources. Pricing, I would say, yeah, so it is pay as you go pricing. There is no upfront, or there is no commitment that you have to do, but there are a lot of billing parameters that you need to take care of when it comes to the charges. So here, for the data transfer to Amazon Redshift, there are no additional charges if it is in the same region. For example, if you are having DynamoDB or RDS or S3 bucket, from where you are transferring data to Amazon Redshift, within the same region there is no charges. But if you are going for data transfer between region, there are some data charges. And for visualization also, there is not much charges for it. But if you are querying it from global tools, or if you are sending it for your on premises tool set for visualization and analytics, yeah, there are some pricing for it. So it is based on the type of node you are going to provision. I will show you what are the different type of node you can configure. And if you want to keep the cost to a minimum, you can just select the less number of nodes and less size of node, and that way you can get the pricing reduced. So coming to the console, go to the Redshift. I will show you how to get this created. It's a fast, simple data warehousing system. So you can also have up to petabytes of data here. And it says it's easier without having to manage your own yeah, data warehouse. That is true. So there are two options. Okay, there is a serverless option that they have recently added, and you will also get a $300 credit to use in your account, and you can play around with this complete serverless option. But the traditional cluster option is here. You can go and create the cluster option here. You can also use the serverless, which is pretty much the same, and you also get 300 credit in your account for practicing this Redshift serverless. They are boosting it like anything. So they are asking me like to create a Redshift cluster. I can give it a name and or else use the default name that I've given here, and I can go and choose the cluster size. So if I want to have the specific requirement, I can just go and say how much data will get loaded, what is the storage space that we are needing, and what is the uh, pattern of the data getting increased. So you can go and choose all those things, and automatically it will tell me like what is the node you can choose, and what is the type of storage you can configure, what is the compute capacity you need. Based on that, you can go and select it. Or else, if I know what I need, I can just go and select this thing. Earlier, they used to give us free tier also, but now there are only two options. One, they are going for single AZ, which is low cost, but then it is a single point of failure. But if you want to have multi AZ option, if you want to have your compute cluster node deployed in multi AZ, you can also go and configure it. So it is also having the trailing back option, trailing track option. So that way it is there, and I can just go for single node for now for the demo. But if you want to have high availability, always go for multi AZ for your production category requirement. So here it is going to be $2,379 per month. It is very, very expensive. So if you want to really practice it, or else don't get it created. Okay, so I can just configure some default username. So I will use the AWS user. And if I want to have some data, I can just add some data. This is only 28 MB. So that way it is not going to, it's a ticketing system. Okay, so it is going to have 5 dimensions and two fact tables here in the sample data. We will see that. And if I want to have this credential stored in secret manager, say I can select it. Or else if I want to generate my own password to enter and access the Redshift, I can also enter the admin credentials here. You can also manually add the password if you want. Yeah, I don't want to have encryption for now. Already the cost will be high. And if I want to give a permission, I have to give this permission: Amazon Redshift all commands full access. I can give and create it. Or else is there, okay, I will just go and create a role and associate it. For now, if you want to have S3 bucket access, you can also do it. Most of the times, Redshift will have integration to S3. If you want to give specific access to any S3 bucket, you can do it. Or else I will just go with a create role. So what it will do is it will go and create a IAM role with Amazon Redshift all command full access. It can run, it can copy, it can unload, it can do whatever different things that you want using this permission, but at the Redshift level. And if you want to give some permission to a specific S3 bucket, you can also go and associate this permission with that S3 bucket. So there are some more options which you can go and edit and configure. If you want to use the default, you can use it. Or else if I want to go and configure the backups, maintenance, monitoring, what time I want to upgrade the upgrade the systems, what kind of alarms to configure, or what is the backup mechanism, whether I want to have cross region snapshot, if I want to restore from a different region, or if I want to have automated snapshots regularly, I can also go and configure it. And you can also go and store the snapshots for specific number of days, 1 week or 1 day, or if you want to have custom value, you can also go and do it. But I'm just going to have the default value. So default, so they are saying like automated snapshots are created every 8 hours or following every 5 GB per node. So you have to be very, very careful, right? So this is going to be okay. Let me just disable these things. I don't want to get more bill. Let me go and disable it. Yeah, I will just say choose only 1 day. Cross region, no. Cluster relocation disable. Fine. This is fine. So monitoring is fine. Maintenance also I will just disable. Okay, so this is the development database name. So, I mean, this is similar to your RDS. Okay, you need to provide a default database name. So, there also we go and create a database instance. Here we create a cluster. Okay, here we create a Redshift cluster, and within that cluster, we go and mention how many node we want to have. And if you're going for serverless, there Amazon will take care of how many, whatever number of nodes you want. Automatically, it will scale horizontally and it will get created in the backend. But this is the traditional method which most of the customers are still using, and even for the exam also. See, this is now in now in selling phase. There is a lot of uh, POCs and a lot of activities are going on. But behind the scene, only thing is like it is serverless. You don't have to choose what kind of node, what kind of size, and all those things. So here I can even go and choose a smaller one. Manage storage up to 8 TB. This is should be fine. Okay, I don't want to go and get too much of bill. Okay, this is see, this is pretty much cheaper. So even this can support up to 1 terabyte of storage, and this is like $400 per month. Okay, it is not cheap. Okay, it is expensive. Okay, let me quickly create and show you this. We have got 10 more minutes. Okay, let me create it, and then I will show you how to access the Redshift cluster. And then okay, it says subnet cluster. Okay, so I think I have to go and select all these things. So port numbers 5439 for the Redshift. If you want to customize it, you can go and use this specific range of numbers here. And if I want to have my own database and all those things, I can go and create the security group and so on. Mm, okay, so it doesn't have something default. So I will go with the default for now and then get this created so that the network will get created in the default one. Okay, so it is creating the Redshift cluster. Behind the scene, it is going and adding many servers. And then for us, like it's only one server. But if you want more than one node, it will go and create those node and it will load those ticket sample data into that. So that way you can have some options. See, this is where Santosh, you were asking, right? Whether it supports JDBC or ODBC connections. Yeah, pretty much Redshift cluster can be connected with JDBC or different visualization tool. If you want to use Power BI or Tableau or any ODBC connections, it pretty much you can connect with any of the client tool that you want from your SQL client or any BI business intelligence tools like QuickSight or Tableau, or even if you want to use any ETL tools like Amazon Athena or Glue tools or third party tools, pretty much it supports all the JDBC and ODBC drivers. You can copy the URL here for JDBC and ODBC, and here also there are a lot of driver options available here. If you are directly accessing from your Windows operating system, and if you want to download and connect it from there, you can also download these tools and then connect to your Redshift cluster. So you have the option to pretty much do it either from the same account or different account. You can do it. So they are giving you a lot of options. They are giving you option to go and change the domain name. If you want to change the default domain name and get your own custom domain name, you can also go and change it. And if you want to have snapshots and restoration done for your Redshift, you can also do it. So there are versioning control also. If you want to have version control, you have option to go and reboot, resize the system. If there is some performance issue, you can also go and reboot and resize it. And later, if you want to enhance the availability, you can also go and activate multi IAC. It will go and create additional nodes in different availability zone. That way you will get a complete high availability. Currently the node is getting provision, and that's the reason these options are not allowed to be changed. So there is a existing creation which is in progress and it is modifying. So once after that is done, you will get all the details here, the URLs, the endpoint, and the patch version. A lot of details will be available here. Okay, here you can go and find out the databases that they have. You can go and connect to it. Currently, it will create one database for us, and we have used AWS user and some default credential, and the credential is also stored in KMS. I'm not generated like in RDS. In RDS, I created my own username and password, and I did it. But here I want to show you this other option. Okay, let's give it a minute. It should get created. So if you want to practice better, you go for this thing, what do you call, serverless option that gives you better option. So now the table is ready, available. You get it on the screen itself, the endpoint with the default domain name. If you want to customize it now, you can go and customize it. All the options will be available now. You can go and create your own thing, snapshots, activate the multi-AZ for high availability. If you want to reboot the node, if you want to resize the node, change the size, if you want to modify the accessing that you are using for accessing, you can change it, right? So there are a lot of options available here, and here you can also go and query the data. There are two different editors. The old editor is here, or else if I want to go with the modern latest one, this is the newest version that is available. So Redshift query editor version 2, this is the version 2 latest one. This is completely available in a fancy new separate screen, but as whereas like the older one, it is an integrated option. So now if I go and expand this, I will see that default thing. I can go with the user that I've created by default. Okay, let me close this. What was the one I gave? I think AWS user or something. Let me check. I'm not sure if that is the one. Okay, hopefully it should work. That's where you need to make a note of what kind of name and all those things you are giving. So these are the databases that they have created, and you can go and check the information here. So these are the ticket related thing, and the beauty of the Redshift is that it will use notebook. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with notebook. So on the right, it will start creating different notebooks for different use cases or requirement. Let it generate, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on the left, you can see there is a notebook option, chart option, querying option. You can run the query during the off business hours, because like you cannot be available all the time, right? If you want to run something during the night time, you can also schedule it and it will run the query and have the data for you. Now it will open the run notebook. See, it is giving me a data sales per event. Okay, it is giving me that. And then if I scroll down, it is giving me how many quantity per buyer, what are the sales table definitions, how many sales has happened for date. So all these queries are readily available. As a person, I don't have to go and even think about or write something and get something. They are giving you options with different notebook and the pretty much data that we need in a very uh, in a format that we might need it, right? They are already pre-populating it. Let me just close this. Just a second. Let me close this one also. Go up. See, let's say I want to get the total quantity per buyer. I just run it. So you get it on the right. So it is going to give me the information. Okay, the result will be available here in the same console only. So whatever the data or whatever the information that I've gathered and I want to get it, I can just go and access that particular Redshift cluster, and within that you have the tables. And it also told us that there is going to be some 5 or 7 different dimensions: category, date, and all those things. So you can see all these things, and you can also go and start using it. So here is where you can open the notebook, and this notebook will give me different options. This is what the notebook is like. I'm not sure how many of you have used the notebook feature. Notebook is to have multiple different areas of output in the same screen. Here you can see that what is the total quantity per buyer. So what is the each of the person has bought how much. Like this person has got, Nichols has got 67, Sparks has got 60, Blair has got 60. So it is giving me the complete data from there. So this is how the analytic systems will give you a lot of insight, and this is where you can integrate with different QuickSight and other tools, where it can go me give me a lot of options to go and create a chart and show the business on what I have achieved and what are the different things that are there. And here is where you can go and share the information with your different team members, or if you want to export it, or if someone has given you some notebook, you can also come and import it and then see it on your account. And you can also go to the query back here, and let me go to the editor back. So here also on the right, you will also see some more information where you can export it to S3 or Excel sheet, or you can also save this version. Or if you want to duplicate this particular queries for a different application, you can also go and duplicate and have it as a saved query, which you can use for different table or different database. So this is how you can go and select a specific database within your Redshift cluster, and you can start using the querying options or the visualization chart. And generally people will use QuickSight or Power BI or Tableau for visualization, and that's where they get all the business intelligence. And see, these queries are just for example purpose, right? But in reality your query might run for 2 hours or 10 hours or even one day completely, right? So in such cases, if some query has to be run and the output has to be obtained during off business hours, you can write it during the day, and automatically that will get triggered at 10 a.m., sorry, 10 p.m. or midnight, and you will get the complete output of what you are expecting in the next day morning. And that way next day morning you can also come and get those report and do it. See, the scheduled queries are already integrated with the notification service. If you want to have an email output or a SNS notification, that is also pretty much available, readily available within your Redshift cluster. So there are a lot of connections and options that you can do. Okay, so these options are readily available, so you can go and select which one to connect, and you can add additional cluster connections also. You can add as many Redshift clusters here, and you can start looking into the data here. So, any question on the Redshift cluster or the DynamoDB? I know it is at a very high level. I will show you some more. I will share you some more migration related thing. I have got a demo on how to migrate from MongoDB to DynamoDB, and maybe also from Microsoft SQL to Redshift or Oracle to Redshift. We can use the database migration service tool, and that is not in our syllabus, but I will share it from this